At the Town Hall, we're using the digital construction process. So Naylor Digital is essentially collating all the information from the designer's documentation and their models to the point scanning information, the land surveying information, and combining that all together, fabricate a digital clone of the Town Hall. So we use a point scan to really verifying exactly where each and every element is in the building. Point scanner is a tool where you can capture a 3D environment. We then pass that through a Naylor digital process by combining the digital 3D asset to the physical site. So we know everything in this 3D model is accurate to the millimeter, and we can give assurance to our client we know where everything is. We leverage the data that's been captured in the 3D models for our Naylor guys on site to help them plan the construction sequencing, mitigate the risks on site and the on-site issues 6 months, 12 months before they actually have to physically build it, as opposed to figuring out those issues on site. But it's also reducing our people's risk as well, which is quite cool. So establishing that digital clone, we can interrogate their design a lot further. And the way we do that at Town Hall, we've been running through clash tests. Clash testing is the basics of one object hitting another object. For instance, especially with the piling side of things, we use the point scan and that digital clone to drive the piling rig in the building and figure out how it can actually physically get in there. We can simulate how the boom is going to swing, how high it can go, because it's all in that digital clone. And we managed to get it through there. I wasn't there at the time, but I got a phone call from one of the guys on site saying, "It works, it worked." Once we got it through there, then the work really happened. There was parts of the building that we physically couldn't get a piling rig to. So then that helped our site engineer explain to the design team, and the client's like, "Oh look, we need to remove a portion of this bottom part of the wall to actually get the piling rig in there." And then even with the heritage stairs, we tried so many configurations of how we can physically get a piling rig in that area, and we got to the point where, oh look, we're going to have to remove a portion of those stairs. And since we have all that data, we can confidently rebuild this stair exactly how it is. Whenever I go back to that, where's the value of BIM? It's like, well, we planned this process of where this piling rig is, where it would go, how it would get there, and what we need to remove to get to that point 12 months ago. And there's so much trust with it. Everyone is relying on this digital clone being correct, and it is. Being involved in a heritage project, I find it quite cool because you're adding something to our heritage fabric. We're using those digital tools, but then be sympathetic to not only the people that built it 100 years ago, but then sympathetic to the people now, and making sure that we are going to do our best to replicate what was already there. So let's say someone's 90 years old, she walked into that building in the main foyer where those main stairs go up. She'll literally have the same feeling, same finish, it will look exactly the same how it was when she was a kid. When you're looking at these point scans, when you're looking at the details, you're literally analysing how this was built and seeing the imperfections in their craftsmanship and seeing the irregularities in it and trying to replicate that in today's world. I just find it quite cool that, yes, this digital clone process and all this data and all this technology seems very much removed to a heritage building, but it's actually intrinsic to how we're going to get this thing built. Along the journey of that digital clone concept, we've really built a good relationship with the council through providing them accurate information of the built asset. And along that journey that we've had together, the council project team has seen such great value from this process because they've seen the the URM wall cuts. They've seen the piles get drilled in the hole with a big piling rig. They've seen, I guess, the point scans that we've got and the verification that we've done with the as-built structure. And they're relying on a lot of those things. The clients, designers and our site team, they're proactively using a digital clone to help build this heritage building. This is how we build the town hall.